Live from Chicago, it's Chris Sells His Soul. I am your host, Chris Bogue, and this is my weekly show on LinkedIn Live, where I help you work more creatively. So my name is Chris Bogue. I run my own business. I'm a coach and a trainer and a sketch comedian, and I specialize in mercifully short video content that drives revenue, and apparently getting soap all over my keyboard and desk. So this is a show all for people who want to work creatively. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Just look up Chris Bogue, and you can ring my bell for new updates every day. You can also find me on TikTok at Chris Sells His Soul. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Sells Soul, and you can find my podcast, Chris Sells His Soul, on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. So this is a show about putting yourself out there. Sometimes I have guests, but what I've been doing these past couple of weeks is I have been batching footage. So first off, anybody who's here, let me know you're here. There's a comment section. Cam, I see you there. Thank you for the shout out on your tunes. I literally do not know if anybody's here if you don't comment. So leave a comment. You can leave suggestions because I'm going to be batching TikToks today. Anybody who follows my work knows that I am out there on video every single day. And people ask me, how do you have time to make videos every day? And the answer is I don't. What I do is called batching. So I film footage for several videos all in one sitting, and then I edit and release it day by day. So if you go to my TikTok, Chris Sells His Soul, most of the TikToks you see there, especially the recent ones, were filmed in front of a live streaming audience. And I've got a big old list of ideas here that are also covered in soap. So I'm going to be working through a list, and this is to help, put pressure on me to actually get the work done and actually batch footage. But this is also for you at home. So you can see I've got my camera running. I'm going to be talking directly into my phone lens as I'm doing this. You want to get good eye contact by looking straight into the lens of your camera so you, the audience, can see my screen. I cannot see my screen when I'm actually filming these things. If anybody is curious about batching content, this is how you do it. You come in with a list of ideas and you just record a bunch of stuff, and hopefully a few of them are good. So if you have any questions, if you have any requests, leave them in the comments section. I can, sometimes it'll spur ideas that I'll have in the moment. But I'm just going to go work through this. And I have to make a caveat in the beginning. Some of these that I'm doing are not going to make as much sense as I'm filming them because I'm going to be recording different lines in different shirts. So I'm going to be running out and changing costumes. So sometimes you're only going to see me recording half of a TikTok, and it'll make sense later once I edit them together. So let's just jump right in. Okay, so so this one's called, first off, sorry if that was loud, but I'm going to need to sync the audio from this microphone to the footage on my video. So those 3 claps are going to help me when I'm editing. Excellent. So this is called Boring White Guy. And this one, I'm going to film the first lines here and probably the last lines too. And then I'll throw some other lines in as I'm wearing different shirts. So I'm a boring white guy, and that used to depress me because there was nothing remarkable about me. I just looked like a boring person and nothing really stands out about me. But actually, that's great. What that means is I can blend into pretty much any situation. Yeah, you're not boring. You're relatable. Okay, I'm going to try that one more time. Going to try to not undercut myself as much, but let's try this out. I'm kind of just like a generic white guy, and that used to get me down until I realized I can pretty much sneak into any situation that exists, and I can just blend in. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that one because then it's gonna be me as different bland white guys. Ooh, actually no, I want to do this one more time because I've got the actor shirt on. So I used to be really I'm a boring white guy, and I used to get really self-conscious about that until I realized that it's actually got its upsides. So I can blend into pretty much any situation. Like right now, I'm wearing this Henley tee, so it looks like maybe I could be like an actor or an artist or something. So yeah, if you're boring and no one cares about you, that's great. You could just go pretend to be important. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Where's this? Okay, so I'm highlighting that one. Okay, this one is called I Work Really Slow. Here's something that I used to get really self-conscious about that I've come to terms with. I work really, really, really slow. This is probably confusing for people that see me putting out video content and all sorts of content every single day. The only reason I was able to do that is because I was able to take a very, 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 very long time where I was not producing anything for anybody. And I really got into like the cerebral thinking about what I'm going to do. And then I was able to execute. But you ever see me do something super cool that looks like really intricate with a lot of edits? It probably took me forever. And it's probably not that I'm like talented. It's just I spent like literally 20 hours making it. So yeah, if it takes you forever to do stuff, don't worry. Just give yourself more time. Yeah, I'm gonna try that one again. Let's see if I can get it nice and succinct. So here's something I learned about myself. I work really slow. It's like surprising for people because I put out a massive amount of content every single day on multiple platforms. But I'm only able to do this because I was able to give myself time where I was in solitude, working very slowly and not making anybody happy, including myself. So if you're ever getting frustrated and you see people out there and it looks like they're doing everything really easily and quickly, just know they might have to work really slow to do that. And you might be the same way. Okay, I kind of like that one. Okay, this one is called Oscar Party Fart Joke. So I think with this one, I'm going to like add some fart noises in later. And let's just do a run of this to the camera, and then I'm going to start. I'll probably do like a second run once I get it figured out a little bit more. Here's something I've learned about rich, successful people. They're deviants. So, if, for example, one of the first improv gigs I ever played, I was like a freshman in college, and my group got hired to play some Oscar party for all these swanky retired people. And we came up there, we had this artsy original form we came up with. It was long form improv, and nothing was working. We were doing all this character stuff. We were doing scene work. The audience was bored. And then someone made a fart joke. And then all of a sudden it just killed. And we looked around and we were like, fart jokes? Fart jokes? I hate fart jokes, okay? I do not think fart jokes are funny. I think they're gross. That's not what makes me laugh. But sometimes, like, you just need a fart joke. You know, you do what works. That's what comedy is. Oh, Kathleen. Oh, my friend Kathleen is in the crowd. Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, I'm batching TikToks here. So let me try this one again. Let me see if I can get this one out a little bit punchier this time. So Let me tell you something about rich, serious people. They love fart jokes. I know. I think fart jokes are gross, but I learned that some of the most serious people with the most like important jobs, people who have lots of money, laugh at really crude things. And I learned this as a comedian. When I was young, I would play gigs for like retirement parties and Oscar soirees and things like that. And we would try to do this really hoity-toity, high-minded improv Olympic long-form improv kind of stuff. And it didn't work. And then somebody made a fart joke and then they started laughing. So he just farted it up. And yeah, don't ever think it. Rich people, they're scummy just like you are. Okay. This is one called pitch shaming on LinkedIn is classist. Here's something I want all you LinkedIn complainers to think about. If you're the type of person who complains about people sending you pitches in your chats, maybe you're classist, right? Especially if you have money, especially if you pay for a sales team to go send cold outreach to people. What do you want someone to do if they don't have any money? They're coming out there and they're asking for the business. So yeah, I'm on team. It's okay to pitch me. I'm probably not going to say yes. But of course, anybody can come on here and pitch me. And yeah, if you don't think they should be able to do that, what do you think they should be able to do? You want them to pay for ads? You want them to pay for a service where they're going to pay for your email address? Should they buy a billboard? They're asking you because you're on a website for networking. So let the people pitch, you classist pig. I don't know. We'll try that one more time, but we'll try to focus it in this time. I kind of feel like shaming people on LinkedIn for pitching you is a little bit classist. You know, it seems like usually the people who get the angriest about being pitched are the people who have money. They have money, they have good jobs, they have decision-making power. They often have sales teams doing sales for them, but they just explode when people send them pitches. So chill out. You probably did the same thing at one point. It's easier not to have to cold pitch people when you have money and to network and you can pay for things like ads and in-mails and all these other things. But yeah, don't be a classist. Let people pitch you on LinkedIn. Just tell them no. Okay. I'm going to throw on a different shirt. I'm going to be right back. Okay, so first I'm going to add onto the video that I was shooting earlier, the boring white guy one. So this is another iteration of that. Man, I've got the hanger marks on here. Gosh, gotta get a new, better sweater. Okay, now look at the. Now I'm like a college professor or something, or maybe a community college professor. I could totally be a community college professor. Or look at me now. Or look at me now. I'm wearing a sweater. Maybe I teach community college or something. Okay. Same idea. I'm going to record another one for that. So, now I'm wearing a polo. I'm probably a sales guy or something. Okay. So, that's part of the boring white guy video. Now I'm going to record a video called Marketing is Shadier Than Sales. I'm on LinkedIn a lot, and there's a lot of hate for people who do sales. They say it's like creepy and violates consent. No, you know what violates consent? Marketing. Here's what happens in sales. I go up to somebody and I go, hey, do you want to buy my bullshit? And if they say nope, I go, okay. And then we're done. What happens when marketing wants something from somebody? They go and they get your email address sneakily. They have a little pop-up and maybe they entice you to get something else. And you give them the email address and then they stalk you forever. Literally, they not only follow you, they continue to follow you unbeknownst to you. They're just sitting there documenting your every move. And when they're done with you, they're going to sell that information to someone else. Like, that's crazy. That's the creepiest, most stalkerish thing. I don't even think people are cognizant of the level of violation that's going on, that they're kind of consenting to, but not really. And yeah, that's what marketing is. So whatever, back off sales. It's just more direct. Okay. Let me try this one more time. I'm going to try that. And then I'm actually going to try this as a multi-character one too. I'm going to have a marketing guy and I'll record some lines for him. See how that goes. People are always criticizing sales for it being sleazy. I actually think marketing is way sleazier. Sales is more direct. I come up to someone, I go, hey, would you like to buy my bullshit? And if they say no, I go, okay, have a nice day. But that's not what happens in marketing. In marketing, they say, okay, so now I'm going to switch. Now I'm going to switch to the marketing guy, and I'm going to improvise a line with him. Oh, hey, no commitment. Just put your email address here and that'll download our ebook and then I'll add you to a list and then we'll target you and then we'll stalk you online forever. Or maybe we'll stalk you until we're done and then we're going to sell your information to somebody else. And it's okay because you'll never even know. We'll just be silently hanging out in the back of your computer and you could just forget that we're stalking you literally every single moment of the day. Let's try that one more time. Oh no, this isn't a sale. Just put your email address in here and we're going to save it into a list and then distribute it throughout our organization. And then we're just going to target you forever. We'll just stalk you on literally every single website you go to. And don't even worry because you won't even realize it's happening. We're just going to hang out there secretly in the back of your computer till you forget about us. And then when we're done with you, we're just going to sell your information to someone else. Okay, I think that works. Okay, this one's called I Love Your Videos, But. So I teach companies how to get on video. And the first thing they always tell me is they look at all my goofy stuff and they're like, we could never do what you do, not at scale. I'm like, of course you could. It would actually be much easier for you because I'm just one guy and you've got a whole company. full of actors and dancers and comedians and teachers and singers and speakers. The only difference between me and them is I gave myself permission to go out here and play. And your team is waiting for that. So, yes, you absolutely do have the talent. There are very interesting people on your team who do literally nothing with their talents except work for you. So, I would love to come in and help them get on video. This turned into an ad. I'm going to try doing this. It doesn't turn into an ad. So, I'm going to say, I do video and I just sell myself to companies. And they say, I don't think we could do what you do. And I say, of course you can. Right? And they don't do anything with their talents. Give them, I'm going to end with my call to action because I made a LinkedIn post about this one. So I'm going to say, give them 1 hour, schedule 1 hour for creativity a week. See what happens. I make a lot of creative video content and I train companies to get on video. And sometimes they'll look at what I'm doing and they're like, we could never make video like that. And I think, of course you can. Of course, I am one guy running a business by myself. You have dozens and dozens of people. You have dancers and singers and actors and speakers and comedians. They just need permission to use their talents. And you haven't given them that. And, they'll have their team working for 50 or 60 hours a week. And they'll tell me that they don't have time for this. No, you do have time. Set aside 1 hour a week for creativity and see what happens. I'm going to do this one last time because I think I got something here. So I go out here on camera like, boop, boop, boo, I'm making funny things. And I also run my own business and I sell my services to companies to help them get on video. And people will be like, we couldn't get on video. We're not able to do that. I say, of course you can. It would actually be easier for you. You have a team full of dozens of actors and musicians and teachers and singers and dancers and speakers. The difference between me and them is they don't have permission to use their creative talents. Right? And I do. You've got them, making 50 or 60 hours of meetings and cold calls and cold emails every week. If you set aside and made time for 1 hour of creativity every week, you could have more footage out there than I have. All right, whatever. We'll try that. Man, I can't ever find. Sorry. Okay, there it is. Sorry. Got to cross it off the list. Okay, still here. This one is called Horrified Divorce Look. Okay, so I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are a boss and you've never been divorced before, and one of your direct reports confides in you that they're getting divorced, don't look horrified. This happened to me when I was working at a job. I was going through divorce, and I had to tell my boss, and I was just like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going through a divorce. It's not pleasant. And he just, his face dropped. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm not a therapist. And it's like, dude, I'm not asking you to be a therapist. I'm telling you what happened to me. He treated me like I was this total aberration. He was horrified. And if somebody tells you they're getting a divorce, just try to treat them the same way you were treating them the day before. Okay, they're not going to fall apart. They literally just need you to understand they need to go do paperwork or something. I'm going to come back to this one. I don't think this idea is fully fleshed out yet. This one's called Just Listen. What's a piece of advice that sounds cliche, but is actually totally accurate? For me, that advice is if you want to sell somebody, the most important skill is listening. It's not really about saying the right words. It's about making the other person feel like they've been understood. And I'll talk all the time to people who they get psyched out because they got to sell to CEOs or corporate executives. And I don't think they understand how many responsibilities that person has that they just don't get to talk about with people. Maybe they're going and they're paying lots of money for a therapist. That's very common. But yeah, if you can get them to a point where they're just talking and you're listening, you can sell to them. But you got to learn how to listen. You got to learn how to make it not about you. And that can take an entire lifetime. Costume change time. Okay, this one is called The Head, the Heart, and the X Factor. There's an old saying in improv that you're either a head, a heart, or an X Factor. So a head is usually a writer. So these are people who are always thinking. I am a head. So is Tina Fey. So was Harold Ramis. A lot of the people who were big writers, who were also improv comedians, they're on stage, but they're also putting themselves in the role of the audience and the director. They're thinking about where the scene is going to go, and that's the head. You might also be a heart. So hearts are people who don't really think about the words. They just go out there and they're big on feelings. They just feel the moment. Think someone like John Candy or Chris Farley, these big-hearted people where it doesn't even matter what they say. They're going out there and they're just able to connect with people on an emotional level. And then there's the X Factors, and that's just fucking weirdos. So John Belushi was an X Factor. Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave, he's an X Factor. Just like the absolute weirdo who doesn't fit in. They play unpredictably. They're always throwing crazy off-the-wall things out there for people to have to adjust to. So yeah, which one are you? Head, heart, or the X Factor? Try that one more time. Okay, there's 3 types of improvisers. There's the head, the heart, and the X Factor. Which one are you? I know which one I am. I'm the head. Right. So players who play from the head think too much. So I'm a head player. So was Tina Fey. So was, oh God, what's his name? Oh, Harold Ramis. Okay, let's try it again. There's 3 types of improvisers. There's the head, the heart, and the X Factor. So which one are you? I'm a head, right? So improvisers who play from the head, they're thinkers. They tend to be writers. Tina Fey is like this. So was Harold Ramis. And yeah, it's like you try to be in the moment, but part of you is always thinking ahead. You're thinking structurally. You're thinking about audience expectations. And that's someone who plays from the head. Someone who plays from the heart is more like Chris Farley or John Candy. They're these big-hearted players, and it's not so much about what they're saying. It's just they're able to go create this like really pure emotional experience that people feed off of. And then there's the X Factor. And X Factors are just fucking weirdos, right? They just come out of left field. It's like your Will Ferrell's, your John Belushi's, Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave. That's the X Factor. So just complete weirdos. They play unpredictably, and they're chaotic to play off of. So yeah, Head, the Heart, and the X Factor. Which one are you? Okay. This one's called The Selfish Liker. Can you let me know if this is petty? I have a friend who's very funny. Everybody, he posts funny stuff. He's got a pretty decent following. People are always clicking the like button. And he's always very active in the comments, but he never clicks the like button on anybody's posts. I will just go through and I'll see people will leave very, very funny jokes in response, and he never likes any of them. And at some point, I just started getting resentful of him. And I would see like his posts pop up, and I'd be like, "Oh man, that's so funny." But you know what? He never likes anybody else's stuff, so I'm not going to give him a like. And yeah, I don't even know if he realizes he's doing that, or if people realize they're doing that. But yeah, if you're selfish with your likes, people might notice. Let me try that again. Are you selfish with your likes? I ask this because I have a friend who I don't talk to anymore. And he's very funny. He posts funny stuff. People all over the internet love him. But at some point I noticed he was very greedy with his likes. He would get all these comments. He'd be very active in the comments. He would be commenting with people. But he would never click the like on anybody's posts, no matter how funny they were. And eventually I noticed what would happen is I would see him pop up and I would see a post that's funny and I would go to click the like button. I'm like, wait a minute. He doesn't like anybody else's post, so I don't think I'm going to give him a like. And maybe that's petty. Maybe he didn't even realize he's doing it. Maybe you don't even realize you're doing it. But there is a chance if you're selfish with the like button, but you're active on social media, someone might notice. Okay, I'm going to throw one more line in here for boring white guy. So boring white guy. Well, now I got a button-up shirt on. Maybe I'm going somewhere nice. Okay, so costume change once again. Okay, so this is going to be another line for divorce horrified look. It's just going to be me reacting horrified. Oh, whoa. Oh, I am so sorry. Are you okay? I don't, oh gosh, I'm not a therapist. I don't, yeah, that's probably good enough. Okay, so, this one's called I Don't Deserve to Win. What's one piece of advice you wish you could go tell yourself, or what's one piece of advice you would give yourself? What's one piece of advice you would give yourself if you could go back in time? For me, I would say don't feel bad if you won something just because people like you. I used to have things where I would audition for something, I would have to get into a group and I would get accepted in, but I wouldn't feel okay about it because I would say, oh, I didn't get it because I was talented. I just got it because they like me. And the older I get, the more I realize, that's literally the definition of winning at life. Like, you were able to beat someone who is more talented than you just because everyone likes you better. That is how human beings survive and adapt, my friend. So good job. You won, and nothing can change that. I'm going to try this, but I'm going to try it as a Robin Williams story because this is where this comes from. Here's a story about Robin Williams that changed the way I think about life. So if anybody doesn't know, Robin Williams, he won an Academy Award for Good Will Hunting. And when I was a kid, I thought that meant that you just made it. Someone wins an Academy Award. It's kind of stumbled over that. Okay, let's try another one of these. Here's a story about Robin Williams that changed the way I think about life. So he won an Oscar for Good Will Hunting. And growing up, I thought winning an Oscar means you've just succeeded at life. You've made it. But that's not how Robin Williams felt. I was actually the lowest he had ever felt in his life. He didn't feel that he had made it as an actor. He felt the opposite. He thought they gave it to him, because they liked him. But he actually felt like a huge fraud. What he actually felt was that somebody who was more deserving of the award should have won it. And that over time, people would look back on his win and realize that it was all a big mistake. So yeah, it doesn't matter how successful somebody is. You never know whether or not they're happy. And if you ever win something and you feel bad because you don't think that you deserved it, you're wrong. Okay? Beating someone who's more talented than you is literally the definition of winning at life. So take your wins. It's okay if you won because people like you. We all loved Robin Williams, and he deserved to win. Sure, we'll do that. Okay, this one's called Valedictorian Tryhards. I remember being in high school and seeing the valedictorian and being like, oh, whatever. If I had tried, I could have done that. That's true, but trying is hard. It's hard to do boring stuff when other stuff is more fun and more available. So now as an older person, I'm like putting in the work and trying to actually go out there and try every day. But yeah, the valedictorian earned it. You should have tried harder. I don't really like that one, but whatever. We have it now. Okay. This one's called Too Much Good Stuff. There's just so much complaining about how there's too much garbage on the internet, and I actually think they've got it backwards. The problem isn't too much garbage on the internet, it's there's too much good stuff. Like literally all knowledge of the entire universe is available at our fingertips. I can go and read classic works of literature or watch great documentaries or have conversations with human beings, or there's all sorts of things that I can do. And I think the fact that anybody can do anything kind of leads everyone to be like paralyzed and unable to make a choice. And so we just blame like whatever bullshit is on CNN right now. But you don't have to pay attention to that if you don't want to. You could go out there and like write the great American novel if you want it. I really like that one. Okay. So this one's called Banned on TikTok. Here's something weird. TikTok is more strict about weed than LinkedIn is. Did you hear how that just got bleeped? It's because if you talk about it, TikTok might ban you, right? It's crazy. But LinkedIn, the quote unquote serious platform, like they just have pictures of weed everywhere. If you follow a cannabis marketer, they're just like, whoa, look at these fat nugs. We're going to smoke these. And LinkedIn's like, well, that's their job. But yeah, you can't smoke weed on TikTok. And I think that's crazy. Okay. Gonna change again. Be right back. Okay. Okay, this one's called Digitizing Home Movies. So I think I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm digitizing home movies. It's really awkward to watch yourself as a kid, but you learn a lot. And no, I'm not even gonna get to that yet. I am gonna do this lost and found thing. Marketing from the 90s was so weird. So I'm digitizing old home movies. And I found this ad for this toy, and they were called the Little Lost and Founds. And the whole gimmick is there's just these sad homeless animals that really cry. And the whole advertisement of them being like out stranded in the rain. And I'm like, oh man, how insidious is it that these marketers were able to market the emotional feelings you get from homeless animals in a way that was purely profit making for them that didn't help homeless animals at all. Gosh, the 90s were a cruel time. The 90s were a really mean decade. I was going back and watching some old footage because I'm digitizing home movies, and I saw this commercial from the 90s. Right? It's the Little Lost and Founds, and the whole thing is they are homeless animals who cry because they're sad and lonely. And this is what they did to play with my emotions when I was a kid. And I think it's amazing that these marketers were able to come up with something that weaponizes the feelings you get about homeless animals in a way that was purely profit making for them and didn't help any homeless animals. Yeah, man, the 90s, that was a crazy decade. This one's called Attaboy. Hey, are you a shitty boss? Do you not know how to inspire your team because they're constantly failing and your advice doesn't work? Give him a good old attaboy. I'm serious. Like, I've dealt with so many shitty bosses where if they had just given me a little bit of kudos when I did something cool, I would have been happy. It's the combination of not making any money and being disrespected that keeps most people back. So give your team an attaboy, and you can increase morale even if you don't know what you're doing as a leader. Okay. This one's called I Don't Even Open Good Emails. Hey, I don't open your emails. I'm sorry. I don't even open good emails. You know, my mom sends me an email. It's a challenge to get me to actually read it. Emails are terrible. So if I can't read emails that are well written, why am I going to read your sales team's emails? Let me just try this much shorter and sweeter. Well, did you get my email? Yeah, I got it and I didn't read it. Okay? I did not. I don't read emails even when they're good. People send me amazing emails. They're very good companies. And if I don't read those, what chance does your shitty sales team have? I mean, it's hard for me to get myself to read my mom's emails, okay? But your thing asking for a calendar invite so you could sell me something? No. You got to get clever. Go up there and dance or something. I might notice. Okay, we're going to do another costume change. Okay, this one is called WTF is Facebook for anymore. Hey, has anybody checked in on Facebook? Is that platform like doing okay? Because I don't even know why it exists anymore. It originally existed for Mark Zuckerberg to stalk girls at Harvard. Then it was like for college kids to just like post pictures or whatever. And now it's like for ads. And like usually my feed is like an Australian zoo feeding crocodiles. But yeah, I don't use Facebook. I don't even know if anybody sees my Facebook posts anymore. Why does Facebook exist again? I don't really like that. Okay, I'm gonna. This is gonna be the second half of yes and but. I'm gonna switch costumes again once I change over here. But yes and but I don't think that's such a good idea. Yes and but I don't think you know what you're talking about. Okay, now I'm gonna change again. Okay, so this one's called yes and but. You saw the second half there, so now this is the first half of it. Okay, so this is an improv exercise. So the rule is yes and. No matter what I say, you have to say yes and then add one thing to it. So, oh, hey, Dad, I just fixed your car for you. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, I'm going to teach you about yes and. Now, this is the only rule in improv. I'm going to say something, and you just have to say yes and then just add one more thing onto it. Got it? Okay. This one's called motivation. It blows my mind that the number one motivation for people is not wanting to be yelled at. Like, that's the majority of what gets people through the week, is like they just want to do their thing and not have anybody yell at them. And there's so much better ways to motivate people. You can give them a chance to do something cool. You can respect them. You can build their trust. But no, everybody's just trying not to get yelled at. That's just not the way it should be done. Yeah, I'm kind of running out of steam here, so I'm going to record one last one as the boss, and then I think that's my batch for today. So be right back. Okay. Close it off here. I got to fix this in the mirror. 1 second. All right. Actually, gang, I'm going to call it there. I've got a pretty decent batch here today. So if anybody is in the audience, thank you for joining. Once again, I'm Chris Bogue. This has been Chris Sells His Soul. You can find all my stuff at christopherbogue.com. You can also ring my bell on LinkedIn if you want to follow me for new content every day. And you can also find me on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok at Chris Sells His Soul, or you can find me on Twitter at Chris Sells Soul. Keep it real, and I will see you soon.